Hello to everyone, today we will tell you how to install the fairing kit for the GASGAS 700. We suggest you book one afternoon to fully complete the installation. First we will remove the mask. Here are two bolts from the one side and two bolts from the other side. So we will remove them now. When the bolts are out, you take out the cables, and now you can lift up the mask and disconnect the headlight. Now we need to cut all the zip ties so we can count together. On top here is one, on the side second, in the middle, in the bottom, third one, here is a connector you take out, on left side one more, and here is one at the main harness. Now we take a small screwdriver and we start disconnecting the connectors. Yeah, so it depends where you start. For instance, here is a turn signal. Remove it. There is some connection from the handlebars. Remove it, and you can even take it out. Here is one more from the handlebars. Yeah. Let's do one more check. Turns. The ABS is okay. The speedo is out. The controls are out. The other turn signal is out. The headlights and the controls from the handlebars. So everything is now disconnected, which is correct. Remove the seat, and now we need to take out this plastic cover. Just put here all the fingers and really use the force to get it out. Because here is one more zip tie we need to cut. Now on the left side of the bike, you remove this bolt. Now bend the cover, and here you find 3 connectors. So we need to disconnect the black one and the bigger white one. To open the black one, you need to press here and pull it out. To release the bigger connector, it's better to take a small screwdriver, and here is small tongue. So you need to lift up the tongue, and then you pull and you get it out. Now we need to take these 2 cables out. Because they go through the black mask. Here they go. So we continue to get them out. If there is little space, so first get one connector and then second connector. To get out the black mask, we need to release 2 bolts. Here is one, and here is second. Now we take out the mask. To get out the ABS cables from the mask, we need to cut it here in this space. So you have 2 options. Either you take a super sharp knife, or you take a multi-tool like us, but be very careful that you don't damage the cables. Now you open it, and you take out one cable, and you take out the second cable. Now next to the main harness, there is one more place that you need to cut out to get out the cables and the main harness with all the cables. Now try to pull the cables a little bit up and the mask push down. I will get it out. In next stage, we will need to remove some things like the third signals, ABS sensors, speedo, the controls, because we will need it for the carbon tower. Now we need to remove the handlebars, so just remove these 4 bolts. Now remove this front mask holder. Now we need to remove the handlebar holders. From the bottom of the triple clamps there are nuts, so you will use the side key number 17, and from the top there is a Torx number 45. So from the bottom you put the side key, and from the top the Torx, and you have to use a little bit of force, yeah, to lose it. Now remove the handlebar risers. Because we need to remove these special nuts and the grommets from triple clamps, we take again the original bolts and we mount them as deep as possible. Now take a plastic hammer, and you have to really use a bit of force to get it out. And now it's out. So one grommet is on a nut, and the second grommet is here. Now take the nuts from us and the original grommets. If you have some spray, you can spray it a little bit. So put a little bit of grease, so it's easier for you to put the grommets on it. Ano. Now you insert the nuts from the bottom. Now you take the riser for handlebars as well gouge for the Scots. You sit it here like this. Now you take again the original grommets. You hold the nut from the bottom. You insert it. Hold from the bottom, and you insert it like this. Now you take the handlebar risers. They are asymmetric, yes, you have to decide if you want to have the handlebars more in front or closer to the rider. Then you use the original bolts and Loctite them in order to have the handlebar risers parallel. So you put back the upper clamp first. It's fine to finger tight actually, because you will remove it later. Guys, now it's important to have it correctly tightened. So we suggest you set up 45 Newton meters and you tighten it. If you don't have the Newton meters, so make sure you tighten it enough that this riser sits really on the triple clamps. Because if you don't do it properly, it will sit only on the grommets, and once you put there the handlebars, they will start moving a little bit and the nut will get loose. Take the original bolts and you put back the handlebars. Now we will mount the upper clamps. So take this holder and these two small counterparts, and here in this small plastic bag are the M6 by 25 bolts with the Allen head. So you will need 4 of them, and use the Loctite, or actually Vicon, which should be better one, as said the sales representative. Now we will put the upper mount like this, and for easier recognition, here is one with dot. The one with dot goes to the left side. So you put it in the bottom and you take the Allen bolt with a Loctite or Vicon and first do finger tight. Now we take the right one without the dot. You again put from the bottom. Now we can fully tighten the upper clamps. If you plan to use the Scott's damper, then we suggest now to mount the pin holder with M6 by 12 bolts and the washers, and it is there like this. And don't forget to use Loctite or Vicon. Now take the remaining 2 bolts, M6 by 25, the washers, bit of Vicon and the nose, and you will mount it in here. Now we take the original mask and we will remove a few things. We can start with the ABS control, and here you push and you jump out and you can take the sensor away. Next are the turn signals. Next one is a speedo removal. Here are 2 Torx screws, so take them out. Remove also the original grommets, because you will need them for the carbon top plate to install the original speedo. Now we need to remove the controls. What we suggest, we unplug the LED control, and now we use a little bit of force and we push it out. We put it immediately back so we don't mix up, and we do the second one. And again we put it back. So now the mask is clean and we can put it into the shelf. Next stage is to prepare the tower. We will start with removing the carbon top. First we will mount the headlights holders. They are marked left and right. Here in the bottom you will mount with the M6 by 20 bolts and the washers. Here on top you will use the same bolt, and you will secure with a nut from inside. First secure with the washer and then use the nut. Now we do the same way the other side. Now you will install the windshield holders. They are marked again left and right, so it's the right one, and you will use the small M6 by 8 bolts with Allen head. Now we will install the ABS switch. So we insert it like this. We press it there and you get 2 triangles, so you will use only one. The second triangle is spare, and you will secure it from the back. Now we will mount few things on the top plate. So we start with the original grommets that holds the speedo. It's good to use a small screwdriver, connector, like this, and now we use again the original bolts. Because you are going into the plastics, so you have to be very soft, very careful. Don't tie too much, otherwise you will crack the part of the speedo and it will cost you a lot of money. So again, very carefully now when you mount the speedo. Now we will put in the cover for the hole, and now you take the controls, you put it through the cable. On top of the control you find a small rotation point, so it's super small, and here is also small place for the rotation, so make sure you go against it and you fit it there. Now the top plate is ready to be mounted, but later. Now we take the windshield holders and the turn signal holders, and you will use the original turn signals. You insert it in here from this side. There is the rotation point, and now you will tie it, but use the proper amount of force. Now we will start preparing all the connectors to be inserted in the tower. But first we need to take these two going from the right handlebar and connect them here again. So we put it over the clutch cable and we prepare it like this and under the top holder. Now we will open this plastic cover and we will connect the white on white and black on black like this, and then we will hide them here under the cover. Now we need to do a small cutout to be able to put it back around the upper holder. So you take either a very sharp knife or we use a multi-tool to cut it out. Now you take the original bolt and you mount it back. Now we will start connecting everything what is possible. Yeah, so take one by one. Don't worry, you cannot mix up because they are unique, the connectors. Now everything seems to be connected, so let's do a check. Still, these two goes into the controls to the dashboard, as well as this one. This is the ABS one to be connected later. These three, here is the headlight and here are the turn signal, and this one is the speedo connector. The rest should be connected. The last one we didn't mention is this one connector. It's the original power source. It has kind of T-shape. So here in this leg it's a plus, so you put there a red wire from our extension, and here is and the black is minus that goes to the brown wire here in this connector. And you have it ready to connect either the USB port or the GPS. Here are two more power sources from the KTM originally. The first is ACC1, which is permanently on, and the second is ACC2, which is on only when you turn the ignition key on. So if you need to connect there something like GPS, so we suggest to connect it into the ACC2 because it's a lower chance that you will ruin the battery. If you need to connect any cable for a GPS, tablet, anything else, so the good time is to do it now. Now we take the tower, and you have to be a little bit patient, but we need to put through all the connectors in here into the tower. The connectors that will need to be connected later in the tower, like the USB portlet or the headlights and turn signals, ABS sensor, or the controls, so try to push them a little bit up here and the rest to the bottom. So let's start. When you have more or less all the connectors in here, so you have to now use the second hand from inside and try to pull. Now it is important to get the harness lower under the top holder so you can insert it. Now we take the M6 bolt to washers and M6 nut. Now we align the holes on the top holder, and it's better to go from the right side of the motorbike. And we only finger tight at this stage the top bolt, because you need still the tower to have a certain flexibility like this. Now we take the M6 bolt with the washer and we try to enter it to the first hole. Now we take the washer and the nut, only finger tight at this moment. Now insert the second M6 by 40 bolt with the washer, put it halfway through, and then take another washer and you have to insert it in between the clamps and then press the bolt to the rest of the hole. It will create kind of compression limiter when you tighten the carbon tower. Now when all 4 bolts are inserted in the tower, you can tighten them, but go one by one, a bit another, and just go around after you tighten it fully. We take the headlights. They are already with the extension, and we put through first the extension to be able to connect it later. And now we catch the headlights here. You can see there is one longer and shorter, so the longer is low beam and has to go to the low position. When you install the headlights, what is very important, that the lamp with a shorter tube goes to the upper position, with the lamp with a longer tube goes to the lower position. And you don't tighten fully. You can see that you can adjust the direction of the beam. And in the headlight box, in this leaflet, at the first pages you have all the certifications and certificates. And here in the back, it's a guide how to install correctly the direction of the headlights. So read it, and once it is set up correctly, you can tighten. Now you take the turn signal with the windshield holder, the left one, and here in between the silent blocks there is a hole with a grommet. So you push it through the cables. At this stage you can leave it like this for a moment. Now we will connect all the things here. So first it's a brown ABS connector. Now we have here the turn signals, which are here. The green is a right one, the red is a left one. Now we connect the headlight. This is the top plate, and first what we insert are the controls. The black one goes to the oil, and the green one, and the white one goes to the turn signals. And last one is a speedo connector. Now what we suggest, you turn the ignition on and we will check if everything works properly before we close the tower. So here are the turn signals, left, right turn signal, so should be all correctly connected. Now take the M8 by 12 bolts, put on the crossbar and mount the windshield holders. Now take the M5 rubber nuts and insert them into the windshield holders. Because the holes are pretty tight, so we suggest you take a bolt, and then it's easier to push in. Now we take the 3D printed hose guide, we insert it on the tubes. Make sure the RG is correctly, and you will zip tie under the triple clamps. Now on the right side, here are these cables from the ABS, and here are the cables from the handlebars. We take a zip tie and we secure them here, but we don't tie it, we keep them loose. The wind coat, even after installation of the RG tower, is fully visible. Take the stickers. They prevent the glare going into the windshield from the headlights, yeah? So it's important to stick it here around, yeah? You easily peel it like this. Now where I start usually is this corner, and I try to align one or second line, yeah? I turn the windshield like this. First I try to stick it here. Now you do the same from the other side. You go nicely to the corner, up, and you go against, and it's done. Now we take the mesh that fits here. You peel the sticker from the other side. You don't have to do the complete. You can, and I usually start in this corner, and I go slowly. I don't pull the mesh, just try to fix it in a correct place. Now we need to do the holes for the rubber grommets. I just take a sharp knife. I find more or less where is the hole. And I cut it out like this. Now take from the mounting pack the M4 rubber nuts and insert them into the windshield over the mesh. Now you take the sticker and you put it on a plexi cover. Here in the cover there are pre-drilled holes, but not in the sticker. So what we suggest, you take a 4mm drill, you mark it from outside, and you drill it through, yeah. Now you can clean up a little bit, and then you can use. Now we take the M4 by 16 bolts and the plastic washers, and the cover. We put first here the cover, and we go one by one, yeah. Because the bolts are not parallel, so we have to go one by one. Don't tie it at the first stage. Now what is important? There are rubber nuts in the bag, so you don't need to super tighten, only a bit. If you do too much, then you might destroy the sticker here. Now prepare the M5 by 16 bolts with the plastic washers, the side panels, and the windshield. Here is the side panel, so here on the sides you will insert the M5 rubber nuts, and we can start the installation. Because you mount into the rubber nuts, so don't over tighten. It's not necessary, yeah? Otherwise you will keep certain flexibility and the windshield will not absorb all the vibrations, yeah? So you can see from the other side here is a detail. So if it is like this, so it's just enough, yeah, to be tightened. Now take the dual lock from 3M, peel the sticker and place it more or less in this area. Now prepare the M5 by 20 and M5 by 16 bolts with the plastic washers to mount the windshield. Now the fairing is ready for the installation. Take the shorter bolts and you will insert the fairing like this. Here we need to go inside the original panels, and first we catch the upper bolts. First turn the handlebars to the right side. Now bend the side panel a little bit like this and just peel the cover of the sticker, and then you, from inside, you have to push against the original side panel and you install it. Make sure this corner is correctly fitted, and it's done. Now you will use the longer bolt to mount the lower holder of the windshield. You can put one hand inside to align it a little bit against the holder, and you tie it gently, I would say. Guys, the installation is finished, so congratulations, your great mechanical job. And now you can start enjoying better wind protection, more space for navigation, and the strong LED road legal headlights. So we wish you to have a great season with your motorbike.